It is time to go in depth talking footy with Ross the Boss. And Ross, Friday night football, the St Kilda Football Club. It's a huge test, so they've failed on some big stages against Port Adelaide and Richmond. They've done what they've needed to do the last 2 weeks against Hawthorn and the Gold Coast Suns, but goes up another level against the Cats.
Yeah, I love their fight against the Gold Coast. They defended really well, kept them at 40% entry efficiency and went at 50% themselves. But this is another level. Bar Melbourne, they're the informed team of the competition, the Cats. Look at their physicality. They really punched Richmond in the face and unsettled them and then really got to work. So they're playing great footy. Their attack on the ball, but we're also going to talk about their 3 key forwards and their ball movement. But it started with the physicality. That fend off, Dustin Martin normally gets out. Look at them, there's 4 in the screen, the outnumber, and then they're going a bit quicker. So we can have a look at their 3 key forwards
let's
as well.
take a look at what they did last week and the record the last 3 weeks. It takes time to get chemistry, but these 3, they've kicked 30 goals in the last 3 weeks of football between them, Ross. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, and what I love about it, you see the vision. Like, really simply, you see the separation. They're very smart players. They can all play deep forward, and particularly Rowan and Cameron can come up and play a little bit higher. But and they all bring something different to the table. So Rowan, the speed, power, kick. Cameron takes you up the ground and just beats you back. He's an aerobic beast. And then Hawkins' craft and size is outstanding. But we've all noticed their separation, the triangle. They're doing it really well.
They're all taking pressure off each other, so we may see consistency through Gary Rowan with Cameron joining this team. But Ross, you've seen a shift in their style of play also over the past month.
There's a lot of noise about Geelong, but really simply these numbers tell us they play on. This is from the back half. We all know they're controlled, kicking, uncontested mark team, and they've scored pretty well off that, but they just haven't been quite able to get it done, and they're building to some form. But when you look at it, play on from intercepts or getting the ball in the D50, normally they're conservative, a bit slower. Number 3. From the corridor, normally wide around the boundary, back into the corridor, and their handballs, number 7 to number 1, and long kicks, 8 to 16th, almost last. So they're going quicker, they're going through the corridor, they're hitting it short, and they're getting overlap running in waves, and they're giving those three forwards the opportunity. And what it means is less stoppages. They're a high stoppage team previously, so less contests, less boundary throw-ins, and they were a front half pressure team. But now they're really scoring from the defensive mid, the back half of the ground, from number 7 to number 2.
Is that coaching, Ross, or personnel changing that?
Well, that's coaching.
Yeah.
I think, like Richmond, out of the grand final and Brisbane, the prelim, you take a while to come to hand. But that's Chris Scott, that's Scarlett, that's Lappin. They've got some great people down there that I think they've adapted to the new rule. Yeah. You can't go that quick when you can guard the mark properly and double guard the mark in the D50, but that stand mark has opened up the corridor and the run to come in, and it's best opportunity for the 3 key. He's an underrated, I say it regularly, and everyone was writing him off again, and they're delivering again in his coaching panel.
Yeah, coaching really well. Where can the Saints win this game of football? Well, it's Ryder and Marshall. That's where I think that it's the one area of weakness, I think, with they're still dropping Stanley. Stanley's in, Stanley's out. Bliksav's Radagler, who is it? But this could be an area of dominance for them.
Yeah, and without Ryder and Marshall in the last quarter, they lose this game. Ryder and Marshall, that's the reason they beat the Bulldogs. They lost by entry, but the big contested marks and ruck work, you're right, it's the decision and match committee. Is it Bliksav's or it's Stanley? I think, and, you know, the Saints have got King, they've got Membry, they've got some tall forwards. That Bliksav's Marshall may go back, and Stanley, Ryder's a great tap ruckman, but he doesn't like running and defending and going forward, and Reece Stanley did that to Nick Natanui. And Nankervis wasn't legitimate height as a ruckman. Suited Bliksav's. I think they might Bliksav's in and then let Stanley legitimate compete and run and stretch Marshall, and in particular Ryder. Make him chase, make him defend.